Welcome back to Dove Twang. I'm Dave. So we've got a Mixolydian experiment we're going to do today, and it's another one of these kind of mindful approaches to improvisation. We're going to start off with a certain kind of introduction to the sound of the scale and so forth, do some kind of open, wandering about using those notes in that bucket of B flat Mixolydian. And then in the next couple of installments over the next couple of days, we'll build on that, sort of like we did in the series, the mini course on improvisation a week or so ago. Got a lot of really great feedback about that, and it seemed to help a lot. So, if you're just dropping by for the first time, welcome. This is kind of a little bit different than some of the format of what we do. I usually do an intro like I just did, and then the skills, and then there's a portion of the backing track that I use in the intro at the end of each video for you to practice over. That's all going to be typical in this lesson as well. The difference here is that today, from some of the stuff, is that it's I don't like to just say beginner, intermediate, too much, because any of these exercises and activities will help anyone at any level if they really immerse themselves in it, right? When I played that intro just now, it was a challenge for me because I had to use just the notes that were in that scale and not kind of throw in a whole bunch of blues licks and stuff like I kind of want to over a groovy backing track like this, right? And we'll get to that, and we'll do it in 2 or 3 sessions using this backing track. But the intention that I set for myself today was just play the notes in the scale, right? And B flat Mixolydian, and don't do a whole lot of bending and don't do a whole lot of, fast repetitive stuff, and really listen to each note that I'm playing and let my ear and then my hand kind of pull me or attract me to the next note, right? That's the idea with this. So we're going to jump right in here. Now, if I've got a diagram right here of the Mixolydian scale for B flat, okay, so you could move this around on different parts of the neck. If you start it here, see how the red dots are the roots, okay? The other ones are just anything that you can reach easily kind of within this position. So I went up and included this one and that one up there. And hopefully that makes sense. Sometimes when you write out a chord in a position, scale rather, you don't have to, just make it start and end on the root. Right? You can kind of put in everything that's reachable, reasonably from that position. So you start wherever you want. In this exercise, there's no rules except that you just play those notes and that you take your time and really steep in the sound of those notes. And when you get to one that feels really good, then we'll start to, as we go through this, the stages of this, we'll start to unpack that. Well, what's that note over that chord at that time sounded really good, so what's going on with that? And then we can generalize those ideas and those concepts to other jams and aspects of our playing, right? So we're starting by setting you up to have a experience making music, and then we'll analyze it, right? Or generalize it, not let's study a bunch of concepts and intellectualize a bunch of things about it, and then maybe make music out of it. That's kind of the idea here. We're reversing the order of those things, right? So I'm just going to show you some examples today. They're not licks. They're not things that you need to copy. Put this backing track on, and I'll leave this map up here. And that's what I think of it as, a map, right? Not just a sequence. It's just, that's the notes we can use. mentioned a couple things about my process just now. Yours will be different. It'll be whatever it is. It'll sound like you. I liked a couple things that happened, like, coming back to that note right there. So I played this a couple times when I was doing the warm up earlier, right? So I already had like kind of an imprint made about it, right? Um, like your first impression of it or something. And that's, to me, that's kind of like that's you could change it around or try to do some other stuff, but we tend to kind of like hear or experience a melody and a progression, you know, in a certain way that's our language. It's individual to everyone. And so if that's talking to me, I just simply start following it. And then I'm likely to do more repetition, right? I'm going to, go. Right. And then if I feel like I'm getting too repetitive or I'm satisfied with that part of it, then I say, okay, well, let's wander on down. Okay, you can kind of hear the song, right? You can hear some things emerging out of that experiment, right? I'm only using those notes. I'm not playing any licks, right? And most of the progression is I'm occupied by the B flat 7 chord, right? The B flat, and then the other two are almost like a turnaround, the right. So you can't go wrong using this scale, right? It doesn't matter where you are in that progression. Now, we could, chase down some chord tones and things, for the other chords as well as the B flat. And we'll do that probably in the next couple of videos at some point. But for this session, put that backing track on and just really chill out and kind of think of the notes as like magnets. One of my one-on-ones individual students the other day, I said, yeah, we're attracted to certain notes, and he said something like, yeah, it's like they're magnetic. Wow, what a great artistic, creative way of thinking about, not just thinking about it, but just like letting that happen, right? It's once you get familiar mechanically with the notes in that scale, the little magnets will start pulling you into the music, right? So if you're watching, I won't say your name, but thank you for that. That's a really cool concept. So that's it for today. I put a good portion of that backing track at the end of this. Just kind of zone out on it with those scale notes and really just, let it be simple and let it guide you. And then come back in the next day or two, look for part 2. We'll start unpacking that and looking at some more strategic things that we can do. And then after that, we'll add some embellishments and start putting the bends in, and maybe even mix in a little pentatonic action with that scale. And you'll be up and playing a pretty cool improvised solo with this in a few days. All right, let me know how it goes. Talk to you soon.